Welcome to another episode of Wear Many Hats. My name is Rachel, and this is the podcast totally dedicated to the FM and property industry. Today, we have a fantastic guest with us. We have Megan O'Connell. She is the workplace manager at Dun Bradstreet. Welcome.
Thank you very much for having me.
I feel like I've got to know you already.
You've spoken for ages.
Yeah. So thank you for coming. Did you come from far today?
So I came from the office, so just based in Paddington. So
Nice.
15 minutes on the tube.
Lovely. And the weather is horrific today.
It's disgusting.
The rain. Yeah.
I forget to pay attention. I forget to look at the weather
same.
when I get dressed in the morning. And that's an error that I keep making on a daily basis.
Same. I've got sopping wet feet and
same.
yes.
And then, even I forget to look out the windows when I'm at the office. I
walk out in it.
I bring my lunch in with me, and I forget that, so I don't need to go out in the middle of the day and go and do what normal humans do and get some fresh air. So I walk out at the end of the day, and I'm like, oh,
yeah,
that's an error.
I think maybe carry an umbrella. I've now got one at the side of my rucksack, so I am prepared for all weathers. It's nasty today, honestly. So thank you for coming, and
thank you very much for having me.
We are going to rewind a bit. So let's go back. Where did it all start for you?
Well, to be honest, going to uni. I went to university in Plymouth, and I went with the intention of, I went and I got a degree within coaching and physical education. I was very sporty growing up. I did loads of swimming, loads of that kind of stuff. Got my before I went to university, I got my swimming qualifications instead of a driving license.
Right.
My dad
swim everywhere.
My dad was like at 17. He was like, I can pay for you to do driving lessons, and I was like, actually, you could pay for me if you want. You could do my coaching qualifications, and then instead of spending money to get places, I'll just have people pay me to do, and that will be my first job. Still haven't learned how to drive. I don't see the point. I'm in London 5 days a week. I live in the town centre, so I just don't see the point. It just feels like I'm going to pay tax and petrol.
It's so true.
A copious amount of parking fines to not use a car. So
brilliant. I love that.
I hate to be called a passenger princess, but
you are.
I'm also really rubbish at directions, so it's a bit of a nightmare.
You've just solved all the problems there. You don't need to drive. Love that bit. At least you've got your swimming and coaching.
Don't use anymore, so
you can swim everywhere.
Exactly.
Sorry, go on.
So I went to university to do coaching and physical education. Growing up, I thought PE teacher, and then I realised that I just don't like people not doing what I tell them to do. So then I verged down the coaching route to obviously gain my degree, and within that, and outside of that, my first job that I got accidentally is I ended up in America.
I love this, New York.
Yeah, so I ended up in New York coaching swimming at camp. So I did 2 summers there.
How exciting.
Yeah, it was amazing. He called, when I got the call, they were like, I didn't really pay attention. It was over Easter weekend or something like that. And I was just making a cup of tea and having a chat about myself, because everyone can talk about themselves really, really well.
Yeah.
And just boasting and being amazing, I'm fabulous and all that kind of thing. I need to make a decision on is New York or Florida. And I was like, sorry, what? Sorry, what? He was like, you've applied to go to camp. And I was like, well, have I? He was like, yeah, what did you think? I was like, And so basically I didn't have a passport at the time, so I had to hang up and call my mum and say I need to get an emergency passport.
Yeah.
I think that's it. And I chose New York because I'm better at shopping than sunbathing.
I like both.
I know, but I was like, if I'm going to be better at
New York
is amazing.
Looks good on your CV too.
Yeah, so I don't think it is so far away now, so it doesn't really hit the CV as frequently as it does now.
It does today.
It's on LinkedIn, so
yes. I love that. So you spent some time out there.
So I went to and then I came back from that. I got offered a 3rd summer, but and I was so game for it. But my mum was like, absolutely not. Go and get a real job, Megan. Applying for roles and everything like that. And this job title that came up and was like looking for like people with a coaching mindset and like that. And I was like, well, I've got a coaching degree, so like
that's you.
Turns out I'd applied to go and do door-to-door sales, and I was just they took me out on like an interview day where they just like traipsed you around houses and all that kind of stuff. And for some strange reason, I have no idea why to this day, but I was like, yeah, sure, I'll do that. And I did it for 3 years.
Oh, you need a medal.
It was commission only as well. So,
yeah, you really need a medal. That is hard. Sales.
Like,
you
it's
said
very valuable. So, like, it taught me like a work ethic. It taught you to have like a really good have a good personality, hopefully, but also like positive attitude, because obviously, like, you know, how you are in front of people matters, and
they're showing you're selling to them.
Negativity and positivity are like magnets.
Yes.
So, and then that kind of, I don't know, after 3 years, I think it just disintegrated a little bit. It wasn't, like I said, it was, I don't
know how long you can do that. That's 3 years. Well done. That's a long, I mean, I come from a sales background. That is a really long time to do door-to-door. It's done though. And commission only.
Yeah, I was so naive. I was just like, oh, well, this is just how work goes. Like, they were like, say this, do this. And if they say this, say that instead. And I was like, okay then. And so I did. And like, as I was saying to you earlier, like it is just a numbers game. So if you just talk to the right amount of people and like know that you're going to get no's, then like the yeses will just turn up a bit like truffles. So like it makes like knowing that you've got certain kind of like certain amount of negativity to expect before you get the positive and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, it makes you very resilient.
Brush it off.
Yeah,
there's a chap at the station at Holborn where we are here at the moment, and he every time he sees me, I see him. He's selling charity something. But it's the way he does it. It would make me buy off him or donate.
He's definitely one of those people.
Yeah,
like
he just doesn't. He ignores it.
Yeah, and then I did the stuff in like I went from doing a love film campaign, traipsing around houses for like 2 years.
I like that. I think that's quite nice.
Yeah,
one.
I was like, this is like the prehistoric. It was like the prehistoric Netflix, and I was like, oh, you got to do it like just like
that's good.
Go and like sell TV and games and all that kind of stuff. I was like, I'm saving you so much money. Give me money. Like,
yeah.
And then I went on to a different campaign for Vanquist credit cards. And,
wow, that's also tough.
Soulless, but parent, like mums and prams and everything like that, and I'd be slightly putting my foot under a wheel.
Yeah, to stop them.
And then, like, if they tried to rush on off me and they'd like roll over my foot, I'd be like, oh, and they'd be like, oh my God, sorry. I was like, anyway, so as I was saying.
Oh, you had the tactic.
Yeah, no, it wasn't necessarily my
finest moment.
No, it wasn't, absolutely not. But, you know, it was my nose.
Someone's got to do it.
I had to have the nose in order to get the yeses. So, so then from there, I went into like proper work, let's call it PAYE, you know.
Yes.
With a tax code.
Yes. Well done. The real world.
That was refreshing. And I ended up going to like do gym sales, which I found really boring and tedious because I'd just come from like the hardest sales ever. And then when someone walks into the gym
and they want the sale,
I'm like, well, this isn't challenging.
You're not working.
Also, the commission was a bit pants. So I stayed, like, and then someone told me that like I could be good at recruitment. Yeah. So then I went into and started applying for like recruitment roles, and I got my next role at a company called Austin Recruitment, which actually I didn't realise was going to be as useful to me in the long run, because Austin Recruitment is an office fit out, design and build recruitment consultancy. So it actually kind of gave me a very good basic
understanding of like
the jobs that are going to pester me on the phone for the rest of my life.
They're a must.
Yeah. So and I went in and they were under the guise of being a recruitment resourcer.
Resourcer, yeah.
But I'm actually deaf in my left ear.
Okay.
And when you take away someone's, like, communicating face to face like this is so much easier, because like obviously I can hear you, but I can also see what you're saying. Yeah. Whereas when you take the face away, and I can, from your recruitment experience, I'm sure that you just get people to talk about themselves like you're doing for me now.
Yes.
And they talk at a rate of knots because it's their most knowledgeable topic. And so there's only so many times you can ask them to repeat that before you just kind of go, oh, can you say that again? Sorry, I didn't catch that. And then you just become really annoying. being a resource, you're really annoying anyway. So
Again,
I ended up starting to avoid the phones and filling in like the holes in the database and doing all that kind of stuff. And one day, I think Dan just like clocked the fact that I wasn't really making any calls, and I was mainly just reaching out to people on LinkedIn and just doing everything in a digital format. And essentially, he was the kind of person that kind of put me onto like the admin vibe, and it was like, look, like you're not doing a resource role, but let's rejig it and let's make it
that was kind.
so that amazing, because he could have had me out on my tail like so quickly. But it was a small office, and like, you know, it was.
He saw your skills.
Oh, I hope so. Like he did. He saw something. He definitely didn't see me picking up the phone.
So more back office.
Yes, back office. You know, the cogs behind the clock,
or face to face.
Yes. So then I ended up being the person that was, you know, making sure that we had enough milk, and we had enough of the kind of like
everything to keep
all the stuff for the
ticking,
so they could all just deal with, you know, the recruitment, the actual bringing in of the money and everything like that. I did that for like maybe 3 years, I think. And then, unfortunately, I'm sure that like most people feel like when you're so close to London, but not in London, and you're like, I just want a little money, that was never going to come from a regional company. So, you know, London's only an hour away. I live only an hour away. That's a perfectly like,
it's not too
commute that anybody would. People scream at it now, and I'm just like, it's totally fine. Like people travel further in London to get to other places in London.
Correct.
And so I get to escape London on a nightly basis, so that's fine.
Yeah.
So then I made the move into London and had a very short stint at another recruitment company who moved from an office into a WeWork.
Right.
So I have a real dislike. I mean, I appreciate like labs and WeWork and all that kind of stuff, but
we don't need
any office, any kind of company that says, "Oh, office manager in a lab." I'm like, liars. Like, that's not.
Because you aren't needed as much because the serviced office does it.
It's all coming part of the service charge and like all that kind of stuff. So I was like, it's kind of
redundant,
giving me a nice kind of like, you know, thanks, but sorry. So then in between that and then my next strong stint was at Station 10, which is another data analytics company.
Okay.
And that's where like I really got to kind of like flex my like operations and workplace skills.
Yeah.
I actually was there. I was there for about 2.5, 3 years. And I've never like the one thing that happened going into Station 10 was that the day of my on the morning of my first day, I was told to get there for about 10. I had a phone call at like 7:30 from an unknown number, and I was like, oh god, I hasn't even got there yet, and like I had the thing, what's it? And it was what was going to be my new CEO giving me a call to say that unfortunately that they really did want me to start, but my line manager had passed away the day before.
Oh no!
Of a heart attack. Really surprisingly, he was one of the originating like staff members, so it really hit the company really hard. So
oh no!
I came into
that's life, isn't it? On life's terms,
and like everything about my onboarding was in his head.
Oh no!
So.
You got the job though.
I did get the job, and he seemed to really like me. But so I kind of had to go into Station 10 and just figure everything out all on my own because no one really knew what was needed. Because
it went with him.
It's because it all went with him.
That's really sad.
I know. And I literally got to spend an hour with him, and like I had one interview with him, and I had a couple of interviews with other people, but from obviously
he was going to train you.
He was going to kind of like lead me, show me the way and all that kind of stuff. And so I just had to go and figure it out on my own, which was probably, it was amazing because also no one knew when I was doing it wrong. So, I'm going to do it this way because I said so.
And also because if you make a mistake, you can learn from it, can't you?
Yes, exactly. So, and that's where basically like I really got to kind of like figure stuff out. I never once learned I got my love for health and safety, and like, you know, learned about like cleaning management and what M&E was.
Yes.
And all that kind of stuff. They didn't know what M&E was either. So I was like, so this is what M&E is.
So you were teaching them in the end.
Yeah.
That's great.
But yeah, so I Station 10 was the place that I did my first fit out. It's
Lovely.
the place that I was during COVID. And it was the place that I found my network as well. So like going into COVID, trying to learn what COVID was, as well as how to come out of COVID and all that kind of stuff.
That fell under you guys, didn't it?
Yeah, I learned. So I just went in search of like webinars and like was just scrolling through LinkedIn to see who were the voices that were like going to
leading it.
And yeah. So I found my network. It was an amazing person called Hannah Gray, who was UK and predominantly kind of has a really strong hub contingent within London. And yeah, I just became a bit of a disciple, I guess, of her and her network.
Oh, wow.
And yeah, it was about getting the office back to to an operation standard, what should be the best practices coming out of COVID and all that kind of stuff. And it was, I mean,
she helped you.
Oh, massively. And just again, like when I realized that she was just an absolute fountain of knowledge, like it was just, it would have been stupid for me to be like, cool, thanks, Hannah. Done.
Yeah. So you still follow her?
Oh, yeah, 100%. Like she's now, I'm lucky enough to have her as a mentor, and like,
oh, wow.
I've had a health and safety consultant in like all my
this is great,
all that kind of stuff. So she she's taught me so much, and like I've gained loads of friends from just like made so many friends within the office management community, because we're all just like she's like, it's just been a really
brought you all together
for sure. It's been really valuable.
That's fabulous.
Yeah. And then from Station 10 I then went to a company called Lend Invest, which is like a property finance company.
Yeah.
Again, it was just a little bit. I went from Station 10 was like 35 people, and then Lend Invest was like 250 people. So it was like
your company size was going up.
Yeah, exactly. So I went from like a 2,000 square foot office to a 9,000 square foot office with a sublease of 3,000, because we cornered it off and given it to a different company and everything like that, which was a headache in itself.
Yes,
but it's not fun to
the hats you wear.
And also, yeah, exactly. And during my time at Lend Invest, I obviously had the London office, and then they opened up a Glasgow office, of which I manned that, in a very long distance way. Yeah. Moved the Scottish contingent into for the first year they moved into a WeWork space. Yeah. And then once they'd outgrown that twice, we then moved them into their I say forever home, like their next 10-year home. Yeah.
Where they're based now.
In Glasgow, which is where they are now.
Love that. And you were part of that.
Yeah, and then straight from finishing Glasgow, I then moved London into another space this time last year. So this time last year, I had 3 months to move London out of Fitzrovia into another. I did that in 3 months as well, which I've got really dyed platinum blonde hair, but I'm pretty sure if I didn't have platinum blonde hair,
it would be grey.
Well, I think I might be a naturally white person.
Gosh, so you've been through a lot with the companies you were with.
To then end up at Dun Bradstreet, which is where I am now. I've been there for like 11 months. And
may the journey continue.
Yeah, exactly. So now I've got a 22,000 square foot office, but I've also got humans to help me, and I'm in a team. So this is my first experience of being in a team. Yes. Not only running a team, but also I'm part of the European team as well. So,
yes.
That's an experience. I've never really done team sports. So
you're used to working solo.
I'm used to kind of doing things.
That's a learning curve in itself.
Yeah, learning to play with others is
I like the way you do that.
Hasn't necessarily been my strongest point, but I would like to think that I'm doing much better day by day.
Well done. They'll be the judge of that. So did you always know that this was the path you were going to end up on?
No, absolutely not. I genuinely thought that, well, when I was like super little, I think I wanted to be a vet or something like that. Yeah. But all through school, I thought that I was going to be a PE teacher. And then, like I said, I realised that I don't like people not doing as I tell them to do. So coaching was really like a a forefront of my like work going through uni and all that kind of thing. It was my first couple of jobs. Like I would coach swimmers. I went and did work experience with Plymouth Leander, who over 2012, which was producing Olympians at that time. So that was kind of cool. And then I was trying to thought.
Got into the office world.
Yeah,
that's it then.
I obviously did the sales and all that kind of stuff. And then when I got to Austin Recruitment, when I realised that actually I don't like talking to people on the phone, or I'm not, well, it's like probably other people would. He just
gave
said,
you that chance.
Right, this is obviously a hole that we've got in the business. You can fill it, but you know, it's definitely different, and you can figure it out and like all that kind of stuff. So like swimming teaching, like coaching. Selfishly, the people that you're going to teach throughout the course of the day go to school for 6 hours a day. So it was very much a split shift job.
Yeah.
So swimmers are like 4 till 6 or 4 till 7, and then again 6 till 8. So it was like. What's it? So a 9 to 5 job
was a better fit for you. Yeah, suits me too.
Yeah, exactly.
Not really a night person or an early. You like early morning though?
I don't say I'm not a morning person. Like there is an hour to get to London, and I utilise that very well.
Well done.
By watching telly and like becoming socially adjusted to the day.
Yeah, I like that. So who or what gave you that real first push in your career? Would you say it was that chap?
I'd say it was Dan.
Yeah,
just kind of putting me and like kind of realising that I wasn't doing tolerable. I wasn't doing what he was paying me to do, but saw that obviously what I was doing instead. And then it was just kind of like, oh, okay, well, you know, I am good at kind of organising. Seeing where the holes are, filling in the gaps, being nosy, like
proactive,
all that kind of thing. So, it was definitely that. And like I said, no one goes into office management. There is no university course for it. No one goes to school and be like, what do you want to be when you grow up? I want to be an office manager. That doesn't exist. It might do in the future, but it definitely didn't. Hasn't up until now.
I think it's the person, isn't it?
Yeah, you just fall into it. And it's kind of like, well, I'm doing this now, so
that's it. But you've evolved a bit.
Yeah, it is definitely. It's not. I mean, I guess it sounds really silly, but I guess it's not really for the faint-hearted. Like you don't just like kind of take on. You take on a lot of responsibility. You are the crux of the physical operations,
keeping it going.
Yeah,
and it's to do with the people as well, because you've got to make sure that they're all happy.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's not easy.
Like, no one
is ever happy.
Like people will only kind of like flag it when it's all going wrong. It's a bit like you look at a clock, and it's like as it's telling the right time, you don't care what's going on in the background, but there's so many cogs and you know the mechanisms and all that kind of stuff, and that's basically like what facilities and operations and workplace management is. It's the mechanics behind the face of the business. And
but it's extremely important. And post COVID, even more so now. You guys have even changed your titles. Is workplace manager. I love it. I like it
as well.
Yes, it's better.
I think it's a much kind of like slicker name.
Yeah, definitely. I like the name. So back to where you are today. So what does a day in your world actually look like these days?
Well, I think probably with like everyone that you've spoken to, like no day is exactly the same. Like unfortunately, as much as you can be proactive, like you have to be reactive. Like, a day can just go completely down the pan.
Oh yeah,
in the split of seconds and all that kind of stuff.
You completely change what you planned to do today.
Exactly. Like I'm really going to get on top of my finances today. And then I don't know, a urinal starts like gushing for some reason, and you're like, well, that was supposed to be today's job. It looks like I'm doing that some other time. I'm really lucky. Like I said, I now work within, and I've got like a team. So each morning, we do it at like 9:10 in the morning, just in case there's like 9 o'clock guests. I want to make sure that like we don't necessarily kind of impede on the front of house. But every morning, I will sit and I'll gather the girls in the front of house, where we'll go through the day, make sure that like we're all on top of things. Like I want to know the type of guests that we've got coming in. Are all the rooms booked? Like when are we going to, is there time to get them turned round so that like, they're ready in between thing? What's there? Kind of like refreshment requirements.
And then you've got to clear it up.
And what time we need to start getting those, because coffee actually takes quite a long time to make.
Yes. Good
like
coffee.
This drip coffee, it's like kind of stuff to make sure that they are provides throughout the course of their visit. but it's also things like, okay, so what is your plan of action for today? If there was to be no guests, what are you doing?
Yeah, because then you've got to do something else.
Yeah, so like, are we on top of the invoicing? Are we for our contractors? Have we got the reports back from the maintenance people that were in the other day? Like, are we like, how are we doing on our stationery stock levels? What about the pantry? Are we, all that kind of stuff. So, have we recorded all of our like ESG data from Q3, which is what we're currently doing at the moment. So making sure that we've like logged our electricity, our waste, our water, all that kind of stuff.
That's a lot.
A lot. We are very.
It's a good job you've got a team.
Yeah, they are pretty good. I'm very lucky. Catherine, who I work with at the moment. And I was working with a lovely lady called Kasha, who was on our front of house. They were really good dynamic team together. Kasha has now moved on to a different role, but yeah, Catherine's come in and she's only just really started, but she's come in and she's absolutely like making a name for herself.
That's
she's doing
good.
really, really well
in a good way.
Yes, for sure. But yeah, no, she's doing really well, and I'm very lucky to work with her.
So, love that. Well done. So let's talk challenges. And I always, when I say that, I always think the previous questions have sounded like a challenge to me. You guys really do spin lots of plates and wear many hats. So what's testing you in your role right now?
I think actually, like when I came to Dun Bradstreet, I genuinely thought that, workplace managers, there's just another name for an office manager, but actually it's so different.
Yes.
So I think the main challenge for me this year has just been learning what I actually do for a job now.
Yeah. Like what do I not know? What do I need to know?
Yeah, exactly. So like when I first got there was a workplace coordinator there called Adrienne, and she was an absolute rock star as well. And like I'd look at what she was doing and I was like, oh, okay, so you do that. Okay. Yeah. And then I'd look at something else she's doing, I'd be like, oh, okay, so you do that as well. When you do that. Oh, right.
Which you've not had to do before, and now it falls
like, I used to do all the food shopping. I used to do this. I used to do that. I used to like do all the...
Yeah.
And so part of me at the beginning was like, oh, so what do I do? And obviously I was looking at my job spec and I was like, okay, so...
So this was a real learning curve.
Yeah, it was really good. But like I said, I was really lucky because not only do I have like the team in London, but I am part of like the European kind of workplace team. So my line manager's based in Ireland, and she has oversight of the offices in obviously Dublin and London, in Germany and Sweden and Poland.
Wow.
There's plethora of offices across just Europe. So
you've got a lot of support outside of the
exactly.
UK.
So I'm just like pinging everyone messaging. What are we doing here?
You are a sponge at the moment, just learning.
I could definitely be a better sponge. I haven't been the best sponge. Kind of been a little bit of an ignorant sponge maybe at times, being like, well, I've done it like this in the past, and I feel like
it worked.
So it worked, but it's not definitely room for growth for sure. But yeah, so like Dun Bradstreet does like ISO certification, so that's been the biggest thing. Like we did a little bit of it at Lendinvest, we did, but I was very much just kind of like the show and tell person. Like I didn't have to do any of the admin for it. Like,
right, and now
when the audit came round, it was very much just like, show us your locked doors, and I was like, ta-da. whereas now it's like, show me all this, and I'm just like, oh, okay, cool. But yeah, so I've done 7 months that I've been at Dun Bradstreet. We've done 2 external audits, 2 internal audits. So it's been a massive learning curve.
For
that.
Well done, but a challenge. But yeah,
I wouldn't say that I'm an expert at it. It's going to take a few years. But
practice makes perfect, doesn't it? So where do you think the industry's heading? I mean, what excites you? We spoke about AI briefly before, and ESG, remote working, all the tech that's coming out. Is there anything that excites you particularly?
I think the human element still really excites me. I like human interaction. I like the fact that it makes me sad that people think that offices aren't necessarily important anymore. So and that makes me also be very worried about like our industry sometimes. But I actually think that like face-to-face contact is still really, really important.
Definitely.
And people coming back to the office, like I think that's the fun bit. Obviously office moves and like, how like, implementation within like offices, like just small things, even coming out of like COVID, or maybe it was just me going into like bigger businesses after COVID, but room booking and, AI now kind of can take notes for you.
Yes.
I'm always rubbish at taking notes in meetings. I just kind of sit there and go, and I'm very bad at multitasking at times. And, having to continue the conversation and write everything down and trying to make it without telling them to stop. And then
you repeat that
and all that kind of stuff. So that's all starting to like people are like Dun Bradstreet is that it is very kind of like tech forward, and they're wanting us to kind of take the bull by the horns and really like play with AI a little bit more.
That's so good.
And, like, try everything. And I mean, I'm not really necessarily very good at like figuring out how it's going to work. So I mainly use it to make me sound nicer on comms. Because I'm a very direct and blunt person. So I'm like,
you're trying to.
It's definitely, if anything, it's also teaching me how I would write an email nice.
Same. Yes. And it's getting to know my tone as well, which I really love that.
Yeah, exactly.
I like to see proper grammar. And when I see all the dashes, I'm like, can you remove that, please?
Yeah. Refine UK. Like, that's I learned that one.
See?
So,
you're teaching me
Refine
something.
UK, and then I just plop in whatever I've said, and they're like, here's a more refined version. I'm just like, thanks, babe.
That's so good.
Yeah.
So you're a lover of AI then? It's
I'm definitely a lover of like Copilot and see, like, and also it stays within your like network and stuff like that, so it's not going out to the wider world or anything.
Yeah, like ChatGPT.
Yeah, exactly. No ChatGPT.
I love it all. I use it all. So ESG is a buzzword at the moment, and what does it really mean to you and your work?
We're very kind of like focused on like the governance. As I said, we do. We've got ISO certifications, and specifically within London, we do ISO 27001, ISO 27701, and ISO 14001.
So a lot around governance. Yeah,
the 27s are to do with like your information security and your privacy. And then your 14,001 is your like, environmental management systems and all that kind of stuff. So we're very much security like there as, and like ISOs, I don't know if you've really kind of had to deal with them much. They're a bit like Michelin stars.
Yeah,
that's how I explain it to people. So when people come in and do their inductions, their new starter inductions, I'm like, do you know what an ISO is? And they're like, no. And I'm like, don't worry, I didn't know either. But it's a bit like a Michelin star. So
love that for businesses.
We've got Michelin stars in information security and environmental management.
And you have to follow that and
we have to
regulate it.
And we have to prove that 365 days a year, that's
what you're
the standard that we are practicing.
Love that.
So that not only will they come in and check the office and make sure that those are what we're actually doing that week, or it's a bit like Ofsted as well. So that's it. But they also want to see my records from January to prove that the walk around that I did in the morning to check all the maintenance,
you're audited and checked.
Yeah, exactly. Kind of like reports on like everything. So we're very diligent in like how we make sure, because also we want to promise to people that it's a safe environment, but also anything that's coming into Dun & Bradstreet is being morally put out externally, like was gotten rid of in a moral way. So if it's down to the electricity or the actual like recycling, like we weigh our like the building that we're in, like all of the recycling of the waste. It's obviously it's segregated, but it's also weighed. So we know how
that's
much.
It's great. You are doing it then.
Exactly.
That's your ESG.
Yeah.
I love that. So do you think the industry is innovating fast enough, or are we still playing catch up? I'll let you over to you for that one.
I think that we are obviously playing catch up. I think I wouldn't know how much there is, obviously, like I'm definitely not an expert in this kind of stuff, but I can imagine that there is so much that we could do with our like office spaces that would be like so like morally good for like, a longer period of time, even down to, what we already have, like the PIR sensors and all that kind of stuff. So, that's like technology that is, I think what's it. And like, if you can, I'm sure, and I definitely know that you can use that in like other types of technology that's within the business.
Like measuring footfall and
like on your AC and all that kind of stuff. But with being like people centric, I know that like an element of facilities is obviously to house humans. Is going to be so. It's never going to be the first in the queue to have like the most technical, because human interaction kind of like makes up for quite a lot of it sometimes. So we probably do have quite a lot that we could catch up on, but at the same time I don't think it's always as important. I think I really do like human interaction more than anything, sitting on a video conference call.
Yes, me too. That's why you're here.
I appreciate it.
So looking back, what moment or project are you still proud of today?
I'm really proud of my fit outs.
Of course.
I think they're like the Kilimanjaro of like everyone within fit out, workplace, FM. Like it's the biggest challenge that you can like be a part of or take on
And pull it all
within
together.
put it all together and make sure that and
then see the end.
And it is so rewarding.
Yes.
I find that really satisfying. I've done 3 proper ones. Mm-hmm. 2 little mini ones because they got put into like a week work type thing. But my first one I did over COVID, and that was moving Station 10 to like their next sized office. And that was just fun. Like that was, and it was so nice because obviously I'd already been I'd been on the periphery of fit out in like Austin recruitment, so I knew like terminologies, all that kind of stuff. So it was actually quite cool to
put it into practice
and like kind of be like, oh, those companies, oh yeah, no, I know that those companies have a good name, and like that company is like one of the bigger ones, and like maybe we're too small for that company, and so that was quite fun to kind of like put the pieces together there. COVID was not like everybody else's COVID.
No,
like
it isn't in FM, is it? No,
I was in like London just
on your own.
I was with the person showing me the offices, but it was very much like I Am Legend, where
there's no one.
There was just no one there. And it was
you and the dog. Great film.
Was. But yeah, it was very much kind of, going through and like some of the offices that I saw, it was literally like the apocalypse had hit. I mean,
it was mad.
Obviously, COVID was bad.
What an experience.
It was just like, you could have thrown the milk out. But
isn't that mad to say that you've been through that though?
Yeah.
Seen it.
Yeah.
So, London.
Yeah. So and
silence.
Yeah, exactly. It was really
so big.
So big and so weird when Pret finally closed, because that was like the COVID cockroach, in the sense that they stayed open right until it got really bad. And then I was like, I got to London one day and I was like, oh, Pret's actually closed. It's really bad.
Pret's closed. World's over. Love that.
But yeah, that was really, and it was just really nice to kind of see it all go through. And as I was saying, I'm part of this office management network.
Yeah.
And as part of the network, Hannah runs an awards scheme, and I entered the project for Project of the Year, and then I actually won it. So it was something that I really, really wanted, and I'm so proud to be like, oh, in the first ever fit out project that I ever did, I actually got acknowledged and it actually won an award. And it wasn't just an award that was voted for by peers. So it wasn't a popularity contest. It was 11 questions that had 500 words as a max answer before ChatGPT. And so it was actually like from my head. And 2 judges read it, marked it against everyone else, and decided that mine was the best. So like that's such a I'm lucky enough to have like won 3 awards through this network, all through the same way, and they are the most important things that I've done within my career. It's made me feel very kind of knowledgeable and
secure in this role.
Feel that I am in the right place.
Yeah, you're getting awards for it.
Yeah, exactly. I must be saying the right stuff.
Yes.
Might not. I definitely don't know everything, but I feel confident that what I have done is definitely right up until this point. So yeah, and I'm really happy about it.
So what's something you wish you knew when you were starting out?
I'm really bad at asking for like feedback. I'm such a stubborn person that I'm kind of like, well, like it works this way, so I'm just going to do it. And I also don't like, I'm kind of like a secretive person as well, so I'm not very good at kind of like asking for advice or anything like that. I just kind of like will just go in and do it, and I will learn from my mistakes, but I do make a lot of mistakes. So I used to. I used to be someone.
I don't call them mistakes.
Okay.
Lessons.
Oh, yeah, lessons. Yeah, lessons is the more wholesome way.
But you do have to make them, and a lot of people say that on this show is that if they're not making mistakes, then they're not learning. So you do learn from your mistakes.
Yeah.
It is a
I could learn faster from my mistakes though by going.
That's what you mean by wish I'd learned.
Can I have some feedback, please?
Right.
I'm like, oh, feedback's so cringeworthy. But actually, if I just got over myself,
feedback will develop you more.
Yeah, exactly. So I could be so much better today if I'd have just asked about feedback when I was younger. And I should really listen to myself because I still don't like your appraisals are coming up, and I'm just like, oh, this is so like, ugh.
Yeah.
Like now you've got to like talk about, and I'm just so bad at talking about it and all that kind of stuff.
Which is funny because most people like talking about themselves.
And I'm fine but I'm just kind of like, well, you saw me this year. Like, what do you think? Like, why did you tell
me? Asking me?
So
you tell me. Yeah.
Like, so
to tomorrow saying I want to do what you do, what would you say to them?
That is a really good question. I'd be like, I don't really know, to be honest. Like I said, I fell into this, so I'm kind of.
That's the thing, isn't it?
I never asked anybody again because it would be feedback. But as well, I need to be a lot more kind of like I need to process things and all that kind of stuff. But so I would say to people, like, networking is so important.
It is.
And through the network that I am in, I've not only made some really good, I've not only met some really good mentors and people that I've learned from, but I've actually met some really good friends as well. My one regret potentially also would be I had the opportunity to go to a few networking things before COVID, and I was just too shy, which is ironic, which is who I am right now. But the Megan before COVID was very kind of career shy.
Yeah. And now you're not.
And now I'm not. And now I'll walk into a room and not be fazed by the fact that I don't know anybody, because I know that I'll make some friends at some point throughout the course of the evening. So that doesn't faze me anymore. So I would say find your friends and find the knowledgeable ones that you can steal as much information off as possible. If there's a template, steal it.
Yes. Find the winners and learn from them.
Don't recreate the wheel.
Yes.
Because there's a plethora of humans out there that have been just in your spot or that were in your spot about 3 months ago or a year ago and everything like that. So my advice to them would be keep doing what you're doing, because by asking me, it means that you are actually on track to be networking. So keep asking questions.
That's it.
And attend as many events as possible. Be friends with your contractors.
Yeah.
Because when
they might go with you to your next project.
When they like you, they do more for you. Be inquisitive, and go and network. So I think that's really important.
That's really good. There's a lot of advice there. So let's switch off from work now. What do you like to do outside your day job?
Obviously, I still see my friends and all that kind of stuff. I love going to the theatre. One of the friends that I have within the office management group is a massive theatre fan as well, and we just go to the theatre
love that time. There's so many out in it as well.
I literally it's dangerous. Often
salary goes on theatre.
She's like, do you want to go? And I'm just I love just I still love to swim. I don't do it very often because I've got a very high maintenance haircut. I don't like to dye my hair and then it strips it all out with the chlorine. So I go less and less now. But I've also done martial arts since I was 12. So I've recently started going back to that. I did it from 12 till 23, and then I took a massive hiatus, went back intermittently, but then I went back properly in June.
And you're enjoying it again?
I love it.
Well done. It's so good for you as well. Good for your mind.
Yeah, for sure. I think it's amazing.
And last one, what's the best bit of advice you've ever been given?
I wouldn't necessarily say that it's advice, but when I was doing door to door, obviously, you have to have a certain mentality when kind of doing it. So they teach you 2 things. They teach you 5 ways to have a great conversation and 8 great working habits. And it literally gets ingrained into you. It is a little bit of a kind of, like Wolf on Wall Street, you kind of have the thing happening and you're doing all the,
taking you back now, aren't we?
Yeah, giving me PTSD, but
you learn a lot.
You learn your script, you learn what's it, and I didn't realise until maybe even just a few years ago that I still use the stuff that I learned. So 5 steps to a great conversation. It's introduction, short story, presentation, close, consolidate. Your introduction. So you like, and this is how like people learn to like you. This is how people go on the journey with you. When you call up a call center and you're having a really when you're not able to pay your credit card bill because you're doing something, and you them on the ride and tell them like your experiences and all that kind of stuff. It's exactly the same thing. And then like I just think that's. You want to
tell the story,
bring them in and like introduce yourself and tell them like and just kind of explaining and, you know, making sure that, you know, the ball is well and truly in their court and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And then obviously you've got like your 8 great working habits, which for door to door specifically, like was really, really important because like I said, it was on a commission only basis. But actually, like, as I said as well, door to door taught me like my work ethic. And, like I've got a warped work ethic. Like I'll do like it can like sometimes I'll be like, right, yeah, no, I've got everything done, don't worry about it, like gone. And then other days I'm like, they're kind of going, I just need to finish this. Or I'll wake up at like 4 o'clock in the morning, I'll be like, I need to, so I send myself an email and like I'll deal with that at 8 o'clock when I get in the office or something like that.
So when it comes to your mind, you're like,
so like the 8 great working habits are: have a great attitude, because in the role that you're in, like you've got to be personable. But any role, but specifically you've got to have like a good attitude, because they're going to come to you because something's wrong or they've got a question. And if you talk to them like then they're going to think that you're just going to get a name for yourself. So you're within your workspace, no matter what. Always be on time for meetings, for your day, for everything like that. That's just a general kind of like
definitely
like career
turn up,
career like 101. Just be on time. Also, end your meetings on time. Or the amount of meetings that like I'm having
run
to like,
over,
pick out and mirrors. I'm like,
because you've
get help. Got nothing.
Don't know what exactly.
So also time's precious, and also so just be on time. Be prepared. So the meetings, you know, meetings that don't have agendas, ask for an agenda. Have an agenda if like you haven't been given one, like make the agenda, be proactive. You know, if there's stuff that like, if we've got contractors coming for the day, like have we got the right passes? Have we done where contractors have come into the office and they're like, so where's the blah, blah, blah? And I'm like,
so you're not prepared.
We need to be prepared. Work the full day. So obviously you, just because that's what you're paid to do.
And you get more
from
done.
Start to finish. Don't be like clock watching until like, you know, starting to wind down 15 minutes before like you're leaving, that kind of stuff. Like, you know. You're
not going to go far with that attitude.
Exactly. Also, like, you know, time is a little bit different now because obviously we're in that flexible kind of way. Like you might do 4 hours here, go and pick up your kids and then go do another 4 hours or anything like that. But work the day that you are promised. And then obviously work your territory correctly. Obviously in a door-to-door sense, that was like, you know, knock every door, talk to everybody. Whereas in the office, it's like work your floor.
Work the network that you
work your network in a people like in your social perspective, but also walk your floors and walk your building. Like make sure that, you know, downstairs knows you just as much as upstairs knows you, and that want people to see you on the floor so that they can know that,
she's there, or they're there.
Oh, she's here today. I can go and find her. Or, you know, all that kind of stuff. So I always want people to know that I'm in the office, and whether that's a good or bad thing to people is not my. I can't do anything about that.
But you have to be seen in your role. Yeah.
And then number 6 would be maintain a positive attitude, because obviously it's all well and good having a positive attitude at the beginning of the day, but if you lose it, if you have a really bad meeting or something like that and you turn into an absolute like nightmare for the rest of the day,
keep it going.
You've got to dust the negativity off, and then kind of like, you know, kind of put your mask on and just be like, doesn't faze me, don't worry about it, how can I help, what's up guys, like
I get it.
Know your why as well. So in the smallest things, like obviously your own personal whys, long term, short term, all that kind of stuff, but also know the why, as in like, why are we doing this? Like, why are we getting the emergency lights tested? Why are we having to do a tender for cleaning? Why do we need to do a DSC? What's the reason? Because if you know the why, then you can tell the why to other people, because it is really important to be able to tell people why. But know your why. Also, like, not every job's like sexy and fun and all that kind of stuff. So if it's actually, you know, by doing this means that like I'll get more experience, which means that I can then like go and in my review, go and tell them how brilliant I've done, and then I might get like this promotion I want and all that kind of stuff. Your personal wise as well as like your company wise is really, really important. And then obviously take control. Don't be a wet blanket. So many people that could assume that office managers are walkovers and workplace and facilities people are walkovers because they are seen as people that will serve. But it's not to serve; it's to provide solution. And by taking control and owning your space, it's really, really important. So obviously it's important for every job that you take control, because you are the master of your own destiny.
Yes.
But take control of the expectations of like everything that is within your remit, because if you don't look like you're in control, then the ship is going to sink.
Yes.
And that's basically it. So that's how I wouldn't say that every day I'm going, have a great attitude.
Oh, we are human after all.
Let's like the full day and all that kind of stuff. Or did I do a presentation well enough that they really understood? It's not that, but these are things that I really got indoctrinated into me when I was only 21, 22. And like now at 36, I'm like just doing it as like such a
part of your
perfect.
That was a good bit of advice. I think even I learned from that all these years later, especially in sales. That's you did a hard job there. So well done for doing it so long. And you've got a long way to go in your journey. So it's going to be fun to watch your journey ahead at Dun Bradstreet and moving on from there if you do. But it'll be
just yet.
No, not just yet. I've only been there 11 months.
Exactly.
Lot to come yet.
The good thing about Dun Bradstreet is that there's so many people there that have like spent their whole careers there. Like we've got so many like
I love that.
lifers. Like we did a network.
Lifers, such a good
I mean, I've called them lifers. I don't know.
No, I think that's a good name.
But
they've been there forever.
Like a networking thing. We called it a jingle and mingle last week, where on the engagement team got together and one of the guys on the engagement team got together and was like, we want to do like in fact, I put it into Copilot.
Love that.
For the name.
Thank you.
That is
a good one.
But really a lot of like new starters, and we had some people fresh out of like college and uni that joined the business that were on like an intern program and all that kind of thing. And so we wanted to get them, like everyone mingling and kind of chatting about work, about their roles, but also like just finding some kind of like, genuine kind of like-minded people. So we had 3 categories. Like they'd print out cards, and like we had like these a bit like when you go to networking, you're like, and like so it was a little bit kind of like tense at the beginning, but they really got into it. But it was we gave different coloured post-its depending on your longevity within the business.
I love
and it was like blue for 2 years and under, and then between 2 and 10 years it was orange, and then like if you were 10 years or more it was a green. And so it was really nice
to feel the green.
We saw so many orange, and and most of them were like 5 years and more.
That's good. That's good going.
Really good.
It is.
We also there was a healthy amount of like greens and stuff like that as well. So
well done, Dun Bradstreet.
Somewhere that you tend to leave. So like,
you might be there forever then.
I could. I mean, I could be.
Could be your final stop. You could have a green. You could have a green badge.
Let's talk again in 10 years' time.
Love that. Oh, thank you so much, Megan. It's been an absolute pleasure to hear you, and you've given us so many tips and information especially for the person wanting to come into this industry and do what you do. And good luck with the rest of your journey.
Oh, thank you so much for having me. Like I said, it was something that was when it popped up on my LinkedIn that I'd been invited to come and chat. I was like, honoured. So thank you so much.
We are honoured to have you here. People might want to reach out to you on LinkedIn. Obviously, you've said quite a few bits in there that people might have questions for. Is they okay to contact you?
Yeah, for sure.
Brilliant.
Come be my friend.
Love that. Thank you so much again.
Thank you so much.
And that's it for today's episode of Wear Many Hats. Please do like, share and forward on with friends and family and anyone else wanting to get into the FM and property world. And that's it until next time. Take care.